Hello, one and all, and welcome, of course, to LCR Season 4. You're all welcome to round number 4 and the quarter of the way through the season. We've just had a week break, but we're glad to be back here at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. 2.89 miles, awaiting the drivers ahead of this track with 16 turns ahead of them. 7 to the left and 9 bobbing and weaving towards the right. Action zones in particular, turns 1 and 2. Do not forget, we saw Till Verstappen and LCR Leopard, or TR Leopard, go side by side, crashing away as they came through there. And again, turn 10, where we saw TR Leopard and TR Verstappen again go side by side for them. What was a brilliant lap to watch, featuring myself on Apex. That was beautiful. My name is LCR Nut, and unfortunately not joining me this week with X4 HD. But nevertheless, the super softs, softs, and medium tyres are waiting the drivers with 2 DRS zones and 2 activation zones. 33 laps ahead of them. Let's see how it goes. But of course, just a few moments ago, we just had a brilliant 18 minutes worth of qualifying, which we was absolutely chucking it down. But on the grid, on pole position, is the Renault of KingLiam25. His first race of full-time driver. It means he starts on the front row on the prime spot to lead. TR Dralex alongside him. Jolly ended up P3 on the second row. Fantastic offering. Gorgeous alongside him in P4. Hogler P5 in the end, with LCR Hayden alongside him. So the hometown boy starts from 5th. With LCR Leopard and Phoenix Legend in the end, P7 and 8. Surprising to see Leopard so far down, but he was punished towards the end of the session. BORRISLETTERBOX and LCR Visualize round out on the 5th row to round out the top 10. Jack RT and TR Verstappen are outside the top 10 with 12th place for Verstappen, which is surprising to see. LCR Fred's down in P13 as well, with TR Malta alongside him on row number 7. Row 8 consists of Brad, aka Judas Revenge, and the Mercedes of LK way down the field in P16. And finally, the back row formed of AOR Charlie and KRC Gianni for this Grand Prix. But the guys are now making their way around on the formation lap at this moment in time. And well, of course, looking at the championship, it's surprising to see how the grid is, because at this moment in time, of course, Clonetroop not here today, which means it's clinical. But of course, KingLiam25 way down in P6, yet to have a victory, but has had a podium, starts on pole. And the man currently looking to try and take the championship lead off of Clonetroop today, who needs 7 points in order to be able to match him, 8 to lead, is TR Dralex, and he starts from P2 in this Grand Prix. The man behind him, though, BORRISLETTERBOX, way down in P9, and the other man, LCR Leopard, he's way down in P7, so it could be a long old day for Leopard and Boris. They try and cut their way through the field like a hot knife through butter, and Dralex hoping to get a good start and normally pass Liam. No one, by the way, other than Drizz's Revenge, is on the super softs. Everyone on the softs or mediums. Medium tyres for hometown boy Hogler, so he's thinking about a long game. Same with Fredster, who's down in P13, but he needs to watch out for turn 1 carnage if he's going to make it, that is, on a different and variable strategy. He needs to be careful for, particularly Drizz's Revenge on the super soft. Surging behind him, the American going to be cutting his way through on a softer compound. But the guys are now making their way towards the start line. KRC Jenny, the P18, going to finally round out the field for an 18-man grid, and we get ready to go towards them 5 red lights to start and officially get close towards end in the first quarter of the LCR season. But the lights are now coming on as we've got 3, 4, 5 red lights ahead of the drivers. LCR season 5 is off in Spain. It's a fairly start there for KingLiam25 in the first phase. It means that Dralex did not get a particularly good start, and Jolly's now on the outside as well. Gorgeous not getting away particularly as well either, but Jolly, he's now got the long way and already got past Dralex towards turn 1. Brilliant start, and looking further down as well. Leopard looks up and had to shift his way, then 4 wide in the barrier as well. So I believe that was Hogler who might have been in contact, still following their way through. They just saw a slow cut out. They want Charlie following his way through, but Liam leads, Jolly second, Dralex down the third, Gorgeous 4th, Leopard is actually, Gorgeous has now gone off. Leopard now gets through, Hayden gets through as well. Looks to be that Boris going to try and sneak his way through as well down the inside towards turn number 4. Side by side, they go a bit of contact further back as well by looks of things. And now they go side by side. Boris starts on the inside of Hayden out of absolutely nowhere as well. Carnage start for those 4 so far, but Leopard gets away clean. Boris needs to sneak as well to P5. He needed to do that, but that was desperate from him. From the lad trying to defend against his former LCR compadre. Really bad start as well for Gorgeous. He ran right on turn number 3 early on, down to P7. Visualize as well, looking better. They still follow the way through the middle. Oh my god, look at all the scrap, look at all the cars everywhere. It's like as if he's absolute chaos early on, as Jack RT is just trying to defend off LCR Fredster, who's up in a P10. But again, like I did mention, really poor start as we've got spinners by the way. Looks to be as if Phoenix Legend is off. Yes, he is at turn number 10. Might be a Charlotte Frombling, that might be his, that might be someone else's. So they can't towards complete lap number 1. As you can see, the leaders now come up towards it. It's Liam who leads, Jolly in second, Dralex third, Leopard 4th, Boris 5th, Hayden in 6th, and Gorshgrab in 7th from what has been a rather cagey and chaotic start early on in LCR, but it's not over just yet, as looking towards near the back of the field, the full-time driver Visualize trying to get past LCR Visualize, sorry, trying to get past Gorshgrab, not trying to get past himself. That would be idiotic. I suppose you're battling your own mental health, lad, but nevertheless, into the pits comes AOR Charlie for a front wing change. I believe medium tyre is going to go on to the Toro Rosso, and that's a poor shame for him, but again, it's not been a good start for him at all. He's only lost a position, by the way, because he started from P17. But yeah, looking really at the gainers and losers off the line. Boris up from P9, Leopard up from P7. Jolly, of course, had a brilliant start and ultimately punished Dralex for what looked to be just a little bit too much wheel spin off the line and had him even before we got towards turn 1. But then there was no one really behind him to challenge him, so there's not really too many issues for him. And the front three now casually leave with a 1.6 second lead. Boris closes towards Leopard. Hayden continues to close towards Boris. Gorge continues to go towards Boris. And Visualize continues to close towards Gorge. It's just absolute chaos early on in LCR. But meanwhile, the two medium runners sticking together, 9th and 10th, Haas and Ferrari, Hogler and Fredster. So they're trying to play the long game, of course, wait out with these soft runners, hope that they all battle chaotically and wildly. Ultimately, may potentially even cause a cheeky bit of contact here and there, but who knows. But Liam goes faster with a 20.9. Jolly now got Dralex on the back and up towards turn number 1. DRS being able now, of course, on lap number 3. They'll have it out of turn 9, which might come clinical for the Canadian if he can get a move done down towards turn 10. Not a difficult opportunity for him there, but you never know. Through towards turn 3 they come. Now towards turn number 4. Will he be able to have a look on the inside? Jolly goes defensive immediately. That'll leave the dive bomb around the outside. Prone for him as Dralex trying to go a long way round through towards turn 4. He's not quite on, but short of the switch back towards 5. Yes, he will. The downhill section. They're both going to lock up. No, Jolly locks up, but he broke later, which means he might have just about done enough there. I think Dralex was more concerned about his tyres than he was about the battle in there. But here we go. Through towards the climb at 7 and 8. Now it's all about the exit at turn number 9 to potential a chance towards 10 for P2. Again, have it back where he started. Round they come. DRS activated now. Here we go. Towards they come. You can see all the cars well fun on the background as well. They're all on the Leopard train. Not really a chance for them, but any chance for the guys behind. Hayden Tots on the inside of Boris. There's been contact, I believe, bit of wheel banging, but just about Boris managed to defend him off and holds that position for now. There's a bit of scrap going on further down, I believe, between Kelsey, Jenny and T.R. Verstappen, who's not had a good start, by the way, as the Dutchman. He's now down to P14, in actual fact, as T.R. Malta trying to get past him as well. But through towards the chicane they come. Liam already has a 2-second lead. The first race for him as a full-time driver, and he already dominates it by 2 seconds on lap number 4 of 33 here in this LCR Season 5, round number 4 race. Looking further down the field, well, look at all these cars, DRS train almost, if you will. Look at all these cars just sort of proning him. Boris now trying to get past Leopard as well. Watch out for this. This could be a championship fight, crucial come later in the Grand Prix and later in the season ultimately, really. We're only 4 races in, so who knows what could quite happen. There's still a long road ahead, but Gorse runs wide out of turn number 3. That was the only real thing to mention there, but Jolly meanwhile is side by side with TR Dralex. They come through towards turn number 5, and maybe this time the Canadian might do it, but Jolly's going to do his best to try and stick it down the inside. Dralex is on the outside, the long way round for the Canadian, and maybe, just maybe, the King Kong 6 will be clinical for him. Now towards the hill climb at 7 and 8. Jolly not going to give up though. Through towards they come side by side, and just about the Canadian's done a fantastic move to get past and has back where he started. He has back P2, but Jolly has DRS. Has he done enough now to try and dart it down the inside at turn number 10? I don't think so. No, he is not. What about further down? Any move's going to happen between these guys? This, by the way, goes from 2nd right down to 9th. What a bit of scrapping we have here early on. Look at this. It's almost like as if it's lap number 1 all over again. I love to watch this sometimes. This is why I love commentating. As through towards the section they come, Boris is definitely being peppered by Hayden. But of course, they both have DRS, so ultimately that funnels out the opportunity to drag reduction system down towards turn 1. But potentially car setup could go his way. Here they go. DRS activated now. Can Hayden have a look for P5? But meanwhile as well, Leopard John look past Jolly's one towards turn 1. Will he try to lunge down towards turn 1? No, not just about, but Hayden, no sign of him either. Gorge, no sign of him trying to make a move, but Jack RT is side by side with LK further down. This is for no points, but I see him still scrapping away. Jack RT forced onto the runoff area, and that's not be good news at all for the Taurus. He now comes back onto the track side by side with Chaos Gianni, the flying fin of LCR, trying to go the inside towards turn 3. Yes, he will. Well, I'm having Verstappen just behind as well. He's trying to dart it down the inside. No, Jack RT not going to allow that many positions, is he, for now? But through towards the turn 4. Look at Verstappen sliding his way through, and now down inside is contact between Gianni and Jack RT. That was a bit silly from the 2 lads, and now that means that Verstappen can get past, Malta can get past, and they say thank you very much lads. And now what about Brad? He says, well, come on lads, you let them 2 through, why not me? but not going to be quite on. But nevertheless, up towards these leaders we go. Gorshi now trying to look at the inside line of Boris. Not be quite on there as he's dropped back 1.5 seconds to Leopard, which now means that the train is going to be on Dralex, Jolly, Leopard. Then in their second half, and then you've got Boris, Gorsh, Hayden, Visualise, Hogler. That is basically the story of so far. Wow. This is quite incredible to watch, really. But Leopard is now going to surely try to get past the McLaren drivers. You can see his championship contender with an orange-looking obstacle in his way. He looks to try and get past, but it's not going to be quite on. But Gorsh, the reserve, is going to try and upset his championship contender, who's behind him. Down the inside goes Gorsh, and the reserve has P5 after a magnificent move. Simple enough. Nothing really too special, but still, it got it done, and it got it done clean, which is what matters for him. But now means Gorsh in a P5, Boris down a P6. And, well, that means that Hayden could potentially be back onto the back of Boris. We saw how that went first time. In actual fact, Hayden's now down the inside of Boris through towards turn 4. That was a bit surprising. Then down the inside goes to Force India, and the Pink Panther slides his way through. And all of a sudden, Boris is dropping down the field like a hot knife as Jolly spun. Jolly has spun at turn 5. The McLaren has made a race critical error, which now means Dralex has clean air behind him and a bit of breathing room to work with. And Gorsh is now dropped 2.5, and I think maybe, judging by the gaps, was there contact? Leopard's off as well. Leopard is off at turn number 8. Oh my goodness me, there's absolute chaos here as Leopard and Jolly both. What on earth are they doing? What on earth is Jolly doing? What on earth just happened there? I cannot quite comment, but it's chaos. It's just absolute madness here, and all of a sudden now the leaders are 5 seconds apart from first to third, 2.5 seconds, but the battle for P4 still carries on. Hayden's still there, just about with a bit of contact further down by those things. Yes, it is. It looks to me as if chaos in Jenny's at the moment, and I think maybe Malta might have been involved in that as well. Not good news at all. A bit of chaos and carnage early on, really, as Jack RT leaves the session. Leopard is into the pits for a pit stop. It must be front wing damage related, because there's no way you come in that early on a set of soft compound tyres. And, well, all of a sudden, this race has just had an extra spice to it. Visualise now on the back of Boris towards turn 5. Hogler still on the back of these guys in P7. We haven't really talked about him, the hometown lad, but he's up in a P7 on the mediums, and he's doing a sterling job so far for himself. And, you know, the Haston showing himself why he deserves to be after 2 weeks out, of course. He's come back and said, right, I still mean business. I'm still here to go out to prove a point. As through towards the turn 10 they come. Of course, all of these guys have DRS because Hayden is still within a second of Boris, which is rather clinical for him. But nevertheless, on lap number 7, Kingdom 25 still leads. He's probably have a nice casual race, so not really to worry about it. But behind him, it's been madness. He leads by 3.2 seconds ahead of Dralex, who is ahead of Gorsh Crab. Then comes the train of Hayden, Boris, Visualise and Hogler. It's sort of a bit more split now than what we're used to, but it's still there. Nevertheless, as Hogler now trying to look on the inside line of Visualise. Oh, there's a bit of contact. What was he thinking through the final corner? That was a bit bizarre for him, but he tried to go for it nevertheless. Now towards turn 1, it's going to be Hogler on the inside, Belgium against Spain. It's been a brilliant football match, but it's also a brilliant Formula 1 battle. Through towards turn 1, the Haas dancing down the inside. You can hear the roar from the Spanish fans, because Hogler now has just done a superb overtake down the inside and has P6, and now is looking down and bearing down on BORRISLETTERBOX in P5 on his medium compounder tyres. Now they come up through to the kink at 11. Now towards the long turn 12. This can make mistakes. You can potentially hop that turn 11, ultimately ruin your day. But Hayden was closing up towards the reserve of Gorsh Crab in the Ferrari. Of course, representing full VSR Clonetroop, usually he would be in said seat, but he's not. But meanwhile, back behind, and Hogler is right on the back of Boris. Towards turn 1, he's going to look short on the inside. Yes, he does, nice and calm. No real issues too far, but here he goes down the inside, goes Hogler on BORRISLETTERBOX, and I think maybe, just maybe, yes, he will have the move done. And, well, Boris down the P6, who continues to struggle on them soft, and Hogler seems to be thriving, but not too sure what has quite happened there. But nevertheless, it happens between Jolly and Leopard. So whether Gorsh was involved, I'm not too sure. But up towards the king at 8, they come, and Charlie's now level. We've lost both Torossos due to potentially a desync. But meanwhile, Leopard and Janny going side by side. I didn't think we were saying this at the start, right? But they have just done for P13. And, well, Leopard, nice and quickly, nice and German efficiency, has P13. Of course, he did pit for a set of medium. So you would feel that he's trying to think about the long game here. But nevertheless, the man who is not is LCR Hayden, because he's trying to find a way past through towards this final section. Is it Petey in the chat? Let's go Dralex and Malta, of course, 2 TR lads, and of course cheering on Fredster as well. But a bit of contact there between Gorsh and Hayden, which ultimately caused Gorsh to sort of half spin. has now left him prone, and that means now that Hogler is going to be on the back of the pair of them through towards turn 1. Will he try potentially a move? Because, of course, both Hayden and himself are pulling in because they both have that rear flap over for DRS. Which means the Pink Panther can hold his own for now as he skips across the curve there at turn number 2. Now surely can have a long way in at turn 3. Runs a little bit wide. Actually, in fact, he's run massively wide there onto the Astro, but still, all wheels on their tracks, so nothing too bad there. But visualise with now the inside line of BORRISLETTERBOX behind them for P6. Side by side they go, and this has gone into a really poor day for Boris all of a sudden after a good start. He's just dropping down the field. His mediums are surely dead, but he defends as hard as he possibly can down the inside. Switchback could be on though for the Belgium, and it's not quite just yet. As Brad goes faster for 20.9, as we just saw Gorsh a little bit into the gravel there, maybe feeling the effects of this pressure that's behind him of 2 cars right on the back of him. Hayden now has DRS. Can he try and move up towards turn 10? Not going to be quite on by the looks of things, not going to be able to do a lunge. Has to slot in behind, but meanwhile further down as well, we've got a bit of a train former here potentially between Visualise, Fredster, K. 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th ultimately going to be in a scrap. Of course, Fredster on the mediums though, so thinking about the long game for him. But running a little bit wide there was Gorge Crabs. Now gets a 3-second time penalty as well for his troubles. That was not going to help on top. Let's go on board with LCR Hayden. Through towards turn 1. This might be his best opportunity. It's as close as it'll ever be. DRS elevated now. Gorge goes to the middle of the track. Now sort of veers to the inside, which leaves the outside prone for Hayden. And he goes the long way round towards turn 1 for P3. Side by side. Goes to force in the Ferrari. Long way round. I think maybe just about. Yes, he will. Hayden swoops his way around. Oh, it's contact. Hogler and Gorge have come together. He's sort of punted him out of the way. And the Spaniard has surely just upsetting Fredster now been collect these out. The 2 Ferraris have just been caught. It was unlucky from Fredster. Oh, what a shame for him. That was looking strong as well on the medium compounder tyres. On the first retirement, technically, from this session, it's LCR Fredster. After contact between Hogler and Gorsh Crab, means his day is over. And that means Gorsh's day has surely gone bad for us. But the Spaniard is probably out of his mind. He has crashed and caused an incident at turn number 2. Whether that was his fault, I'm not going to comment. But there's been a crash, and now on the medium tyres he now has P4 in controversial circumstances. That means Gorsh is down at P9 and has a lot of work to do to get back in this race, and that's a real shame for the reserve because he was looking strong in P3 behind what was about 2 seconds behind Dralex and just lost vision to Hayden. And ultimately the scrap, but Hayden now takes the opportunity to come in. He comes into the bits. He's the first of really the leaders to come in, which now puts him Hogler up into P3. And now the Spaniard at his home race is on the podium. What can we expect Hayden to go on? Maybe as well. Boris does the same behind him for Renault. So let's see what these do. Gorsh does the same as well. Whether it's a front wing change needed as well for him is yet to be seen. But out of the pits comes Hayden. Takes his damn well time. Probably being held a little bit by the cars around him. But Boris also went for a set of mediums. Gorsh. Soft compound tyres, so 2 stop expected from him. TR Malta reserve comes into the pits as well. We're expecting the first stops to come in around about now for these soft compound tyre runners. Of course, Bradley came in because he started on the super softs, of course. Leopard now going to come out a couple of seconds behind Gorge Crab, of course. But on board with the brand currently P2, which is TR Dralex. The Canadian currently does a sterling job. New member of Thrive, of course, doing brilliant well. I confirm Fred is not happy. I'd have thought so. Pete, I'd have massively thought so, but nevertheless, your TR compadre currently has P2 and is doing a good job on his first, one of his first races, really, I should say, under the name TR Dralex. But into the pits comes the Mercedes, and let's see what he does. Liam is still out for another lap, so the leader making his stint well as well. Now, Hogler is having a P2, because of course, I'm not expecting him to come in until a little bit later. TR Verstappen does the same behind. But let's see what our race does. Race is in. King 25 had enough of them soft compound tyres and pits. Which means you probably respond to the fact that you saw Dralex pit just the lap ago. But let's see, I expect the Renault to go on as softs. Now that means that Hogler will lead a race at his home Grand Prix. Yep, that has happened. Visualise stays out, LK in. So the other Mercedes also coming in. This finish actually gets a 3-second time limit, but still, that means the only man who is yet to pit on his soft compound tyres is LCR Visualise. So 25 seconds between Hogler and Boris, 20 seconds between. So I believe it might just about funnel out in between Hayden and Boris. That'll be very nicely funneled out. But here we go, on the battle here for P7. Verstappen against LK, Mercedes against Sauber. A bit of a mismatch really if you consider real form on, but Visualise nevertheless. The Belgian McLaren is into the pits. Very nearly missed it there on the pit limiter, but he gets it right. He's done perfectly fine. Well, let's see where he comes out now in relation to everyone else. Out of the pits he comes. There's Boris on his right-hand side. And behind him is LK and Verstappen. And yep, just about nicely in between Boris and LK. And through the final corner they've gone. Leopard, of course, now has DRS on Verstappen. But of course, Verstappen has DRS on LK. And LK has his DRS on Visualize. You can sort of see really where this is going. It's going to ultimately leave proneness to the Belgian in the McLaren. Through time, there's been a contact between Verstappen and Leopard, and that has forced Verstappen out wide. That came out of nowhere. What on earth happened just there? Just a little bit, just a contact which was enough at that speed to send Verstappen into the gravel. What on earth just happened? I don't know if that was like I can't really comment on that. That was some carnage. But meanwhile, we've got a new addition to this train. As you can see, we're on board Visualize at the time, and to the P6, and he is closing towards the current champion contender of BORRISLETTERBOX. Big shock today is, of course, VSR Clonetroop is not here today. Of course, now both Ferraris are out of this session. I think the other reserve and another one anyway, which means potentially Mercedes could carry out their lead at the front. They'll most certainly mean that at the current time, Renault will massively extend. They are coming in for a net P1 and P5. Of course, that could change as the Grand Prix goes on. In fact, it might just now, because Visualize now goes to the inside of Boris towards turn 1. Down the inside goes to McLaren, and I think maybe, just maybe, he might have to move. Will he? Yes, he does, because Boris got close. It was millimetres between them, but Visualize has a superb move done. That means the Frontier McLaren now has P5. Looking further down as well, Leopard on a comeback charge. We've seen him do it before. We'll see him do it again towards turn 5. Leopard trying to look on the inside line of LK in the Mercedes. Not quite wrong just yet. Maybe a bit too far back. Looking towards these guys. Boris now closing up towards Visualize again to get the move back. This is back again for P5. The Team LCR lad on the defensive against the challenger contender. Down inside goes Boris, the winner of Bahrain. Side by side they go. And just about Boris has the move done for now. And that's him back up in a P5 in the Spanish Grand Prix. But up towards turn number 10. No overtake mode going to be used by him just yet. But Leopard down the inside of LK. I haven't seen nowhere. Tries to dart it down the inside and touches the side pod of the Mercedes. And the Williams, well, he gets away and murdered just a little bit there. It's towards turn number 11. There's a real knock on the door from the Williams. But Boris now trying to go side by side again with Visualize. Visualize tries to again get it past, but Boris knows that it's crucial. We can hold him here. He might potentially have him. But meanwhile, Leopard just got past LK in the background as well for P7. As the yellow flag waves in sector 3, I believe Malta and Phoenix could potentially have a bit of contact. I think maybe they just about have. Oh, Boris in the wall! Boris in the wall, now Leopard into the background. It's carnage! Visualize and Boris now both off, which has just allowed Leopard to get through. What on earth has just happened there between them two? Visualize now passes up. He lets his teammate go through, which means Jolly now back on a P9. But what on earth just happened between Boris and Jolly? And that could be a championship crucial moment for Mr. BORRISLETTERBOX, but going slowly is Hogler at the moment in time through towards the final chicane. He's going on most of the time. There's no puncture on that pass. I don't think. Yes, there is. He's got a puncture, and he has to come in. He gets finally down surely on the way into his pit box. And that is just an insane moment for the Spaniard. Fortunately, King 25 closed up just about when he was late enough. We've got a pit barrel. That was TR Malta who came in, but into the pits comes Harmony Hogler for his first and only stop of the Grand Prix. With that puncture, he can come out really far down the field and was okay. Until Verstappen and Nelson Leopard all fly their way down. And now, the hometown boy has got a race on his hand. It always meant he comes out of the pits because now he's on the softs. He's got an old medium user up first of LCR Leopard. Then comes TR Verstappen and LK. And boy, have we got a race on our hands here. As at the moment in time, Verstappen closes and closes towards LK. Out of all of these guys, I'd expect Verstappen to try and go for things. Let's get rid of the telemetry screen now. Let's get towards the pure racing you can see in what is not going to be the background. It's going to be the front screen. It's what I love to have. And it's what you guys should hopefully love. We're on board with LCR Leopard here. The man who's currently third out of this four-way train. Let's go towards the man at the back, which is Army Hogler, from the FTR Hogler. We'll probably continue to call him that by accident. But Leopard looking all over the back of TR Verstappen. They come up towards the final turn, now towards turn 1. DRS over there now, of course. Everyone has it, bar LK. So let's go on with Verstappen. He closes and closes and closes. No sign Leopard in the mirrors, but meanwhile, in the front of him goes Verstappen down the inside of LK. Bit of contact there, but just about gets away. But that'll leave him prone through turn 2, down the switchback. Surely on for the long right-hander at turn 3. Side by side goes K and Verstappen. Brilliant bit of close side-by-side action. And just about, I think, the long way round and beyond. Side by side they go. Brilliant bit of action here. Almost wheel banging between the two. And just about Verstappen might not have the move done. No, he does not. Brilliant bit of defensive work there from LK. And Hogler's now trying to get past LCR Leopard. Oh, it's contact between Leopard and Hogler. And Leopard, again, is in the wall and spinning around. And he is parked up and turns his way back round. Jolly now gets back up at a P7. And again, another bit of contact, but the battle is not quite over just yet, I don't think. Because Verstappen is still close towards LK. And I don't really know whose fault that was. But again, Hogler's another incident in LCR, and it's not gone well. Meanwhile, side by side goes Gianni and BORRISLETTERBOX through towards turn 5, and on the soft compound tyres, Boris is back up into the points. That's good news for him. But meanwhile, Verstappen's run wide. What on earth is happening to Verstappen? He has run wide of the final chicane and loses out on the position to Army Hogler. Now he's had the clear road ahead of him towards P4 in this Grand Prix. Meanwhile, as well, as I've been talking about all of this, Hayden is now 2.4 seconds and continues to bring the gap down on the Mercedes of Dralex. So could he potentially snatch it away from the Canadian and take home P2 for the Force Indians? Who quite knows what's going to happen as Leopard comes in expectedly for a pit stop for a front wing change. But K has won. My K has spun it! I just went quickly out, and thank goodness I did, because LK has now spun at turn number 11 and loses P4. And Hogler has now got 11 seconds ahead of him towards LCR Hayden, but I don't think he's done just yet. Whether there's front wing damage on the front right or front left of that hatch remains to be seen, because, well, he got damage, he made contact with Leopard and only Leopard had front wing damage. Whether it's because of the contact with him remains to be seen. He's through towards turn 1. We're on board with the man in P5. Verstappen will he try and crush the Spanish dreams having a high points finish at his home race to return to LCR, and guarantees going to have a bit of talking to do in the stewards room, to say the least, after this Grand Prix though. But at this moment in time, provisionally due to penalties, it is Liam who will take the victory. No penalties to him, becomes an 8.5 second lead over Dralex. But at the moment in time, it's Hayden who will come through in P2 due to penalties, due to 6 seconds worth to his name, but only 3 seconds on the name of LCR Hayden. But as fast as set by Visualize, first one against a 19.682 set by him. Meanwhile, Simon, oh, what on earth? I think Phoenix Engine tried to get out of the way to let these guys through, and ultimately accidentally held up Jesus Venge. BORRISLETTERBOX, which allowed Jesus Venge to say, thank you very much, just took past. And all of a sudden, now he's back down to P9, and, well, he's now starting to count his lucky stars, really, with Brad, because that's another move and another way of being back in the P8. Verstappen now up towards turn 9 with Hogler just ahead of him, and, you know, it's a potential chance here up towards turn 10. He's in the DRS and the slipstream. Towards he comes, will he try a late lunge? Not going to be quite on. That's all about just holding yourself through here. Through 11 and 12, potentially try and see if you can't, maybe see if the car has made a mistake. If not, you know, just sit behind him, try and get good exit out of the final chicane. That's some good exit out of there though. Starts to get the others fundamentals right there. Verstappen. You still got to do the other things, right? Up before you even think about a move. Now Hogler complete lap number 10 on this set of softs, and it looks like we saw cars come in as early as lap 10. He will most certainly start to feel the effects of tyres. Up towards he comes. Closing is the Dutchman on the Spaniard. Will he try the long way around? Yes, he will. Just about. Down the inside goes Hogler onto the fence. Side by side they go. And just about, I think, the Dutchman has the move done for P4, sorry. Who's got to get 3 seconds ahead of him with his final few laps. Will he be able to do it and hold 12 points home and bring some solid, fundamental points home for Sauber after potentially qualifying on pole position at the Bahrain Grand Prix? Sorry, I was trying to get the words together then. He tries to improve today and essentially try and get what could be only his second point on the season, I believe. There is he. Yes, he is, because he was going P7 at Bahrain. Didn't finish at China after a DNF and didn't start at Baku, so you've got to feel that he deserves a few points, and 12 points can actually come his way if he can get 3 seconds. Not when you're locking up at turn 10 and leaving yourself prone. There's a yellow flag waving high and wide in sector 1. Who is that for? Not too sure, but it's cleared up nevertheless. maybe someone let someone through. But meanwhile, a championship contender scrap going here between P9 and P10. Boris and Leopard. Who'd have thought anyone would have said that? And by the way, on the penultimate lap, Dralex has brought that gap out to 3 seconds. So now it could be a question of can he catch him? The other 5 won't say the see if we can't try and spot it while on board with Hayden. There is the yellow flag, and it's TR Malta. Oh no, it's TR Malta who's off. Sorry. And then side by side goes Boris and Fee. Meanwhile, side by side goes Hogler and Verstappen, and I think maybe just about yes he does. Verstappen defends it for now, and there's a yellow flag waving again. But surely Leopard has that move done now for P9, and it's Boris now down to P10. Of course, Hogler now trying to do his best to keep that gap within 3 seconds. It looks like as if he will, unless he has a catastrophic issue, because we already have one puncture in this Grand Prix. Don't want a second, do you, lad? Penultimate lap. Let's see what happens in terms of P2. Who will hold it? It's going to be almightily close, to say the least, as the gap fluctuates between 3 seconds. But one thing's for certain, this man's going to win. Unless he absolutely bosses it on the final lap, he is surely going to grab the victory here in LCR. Round number 4. He's already weaving on the start-finish straight. Come on, lad. I want to here with a battle for P4 between Verstappen and Hogler, and I think really it's going to be Hogler who takes home P4, but we're on board with him. Let's stick on board with him. No, we will not, because Hogler and Verstappen are again side by side for turns 1 and 2. Hogler wants this on track. Final few corners now. Liam in the 3rd sector, and well, the Renault is going to come home to take what is his 2nd podium on the bounce, but also his first win in LCR. Kingley in 25, few more corners to go, and the Renault in his first ever full-time seat has done superb. He will climb up the championship surely into P5 at least, and round the final corner comes Kingley in 25, who wins in Spain and crashes across the line and really goes to show why he is. But this is a scrap run ball with Dralex up to the line. He has P2, or does he? Up to the line for Hayden, and he snatched it by 5,000 of a second. LCR Hayden wins technically by P2. He snatches it and wins by 5,000 of a second over TR Dralex, and wisely close. Verstappen basically being pushed by Hogler through the final. Going to be a photo finish between the two, and it will be Hogler on who claims the victory, and technically it's by 2,000 as well. And Verstappen also misses out on P4. Both of them miss out, because look at that. LK comes in and snatches it by 200s, and it's a 3 and 4 again, and all the same second row in the finish. Unbelievable. 27 points in the end comes home for constructors for them, and I didn't even realise that LK was that close. Jolly comes home P7, Leopard P8, Brad P9 due to penalties. Boris will come home P10, but Kingley at 25 takes the checkered flag here today and takes full 25 points home back to France for Renault. As here is your final provisional race result screen. So Kingley 25 grabs victory in Spain. 12 seconds behind him after a dominant victory is LCR Hayden, who snatches P2 from the man racing on his first race under Fry by 5,000 TR Dralex in P3. LK in the end makes it 3rd and 4th for the two Mercedes. Didn't realise he would come in there, so my apologies for missing that. But he beats Army Hogler by 5,000 due to penalties. He comes home P5 at his home race. TR Verstappen in P6 with Jolly P7. LCR Leopard P8 with Brad, aka Jesus Vance, making it a double point finish for the two Pink Panthers with 9th place. And again, another 2-point finish as well for Renault with Boris ending up P10. So look at that, 1st and 2nd and 9th and 10th. Look at that. So Force India and Renault are scrapping away. But outside the points finish, Visualize, Gianni and Malta. DNFs for Charlie, Jack RT, Phoenix Legend, Gorge Crab and LCR Fredster. Thank you guys very much for watching. See you the same time next week, and goodbye.